Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Live with Grace podcast. Today on the show, I have a very special guest. He is Army Airborne Ranger qualified. He's a business owner, and he's none other than my dad, Rich Byers. So, welcome on to the show, and thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So today's podcast is going to be about something that's very important to me. It's a topic that me and my dad have talked about since I was pretty young. And the term actually comes from a book written by Joyce Landorf Heatherly called Balcony People. So today I'm going to be talking about finding your balcony people as an athlete, as a student, as an artist, writer, creator, musician, entrepreneur, or whatever you might define yourself as. I'm going to talk about how important it is to keep your balcony people close and how equally important it is to protect yourself from people who don't have your best interest in mind. So first, let's just talk about what is a balcony person. So to start, I'm going to actually read an excerpt from the book. I have it right here for the people who are watching on the video. And this is a quote from Joyce Landorf Heatherly. So she says, "Who is the affirmer in your life, who by one small sentence or more has changed and lifted your opinion of yourself? Who is the person early in your life who recognized the first sparks of originality in the labyrinth of your mind and soul, and saw what no one else saw? And who is the special affirmer who catches quick glimpses of the flames from the fires of your potential and tells you so? Who, by his or her words, helps you to respect and believe in your own value as a person? And who is the affirmer who encourages you to stretch and dream beyond your own self-imposed limits and capabilities?" And on a further page, she says that balcony people or affirmers help you to discover and see yourself by a clearer and truer light. So this episode is inspired by my balcony people. An example of balcony person in my life is actually my dad and my mom, who isn't on the show, but my balcony people are the people who ride with me through whatever. They're the people who have believed in me when all the odds were stacked against me. They're the people who trusted God's plan for my life when other people might have been doubtful and might have urged me to take an easier or more comfortable road in my life. My balcony people pushed me to follow my heart, even at times when I was really vulnerable, stressed, overwhelmed, and discouraged. Without them, I wouldn't be following my dreams. I wouldn't be playing college basketball, or I wouldn't have this podcast. And I just wouldn't be where I am academically, mentally, physically, or spiritually. And what's even worse is that without these people in my life, I might be living with regrets, and I might be asking myself those what-if questions. What if I kept going? What if I didn't settle? What if I kept working toward it, or went for it, or took that risk? So, Dad, what are balcony people to you, and why are they important in your life?
I just think that balcony people are so important. It's probably why we've talked about it so often over the past, I don't know, would you say 5 or 10 years maybe?
I think most of my life. I think as soon as I got to the place where I could have a concept of it.
I mean, you just recently reread that book. Well,
Yes.
When was the first time you read that book?
I think I probably read it in middle school sometime.
So about 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. 8 years
Yeah,
ago.
but I feel like it's more of the actual concept of it that we've talked about than the book itself. But
I just
talking about the book itself helps.
Like the world today, like I think it's so incredibly important. This book was written a long time ago, but the concepts and behind it is so important. The world is so negative. Just look at social media, look at the political discourse, all that stuff. We need to be filling our heads with positivity. And one way to do it is to surround yourself with balcony people. So to me, I define it as the next level love and admiration. Basically your life's cheerleaders. And then so when we've talked about it in the past, you've actually brought up, like when you close your eyes, when you meditate, what do you see?
Yeah, and that's also something that she talked about in her book. It's fresh in my mind now that I just reread it last night. And it's When you think about these people in your life that may have planted seeds of doubt or might be, still lurking in your unconscious mind and, pulling you down to the negative, or even if it's events in the world that might be pulling you down or, causing you to doubt yourself or causing you to doubt what's happening in your life. These are the people that are cheering you on. They're leaning over the balcony. They're pulling you up to your potential, and they're there for you in those moments when you need them the most, and especially in critical moments and critical, turning points in your life where you might be making a difficult decision, you might be going through some adversity, you might be making a career change. That's something that happened for you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I envision. I envision people's faces in my life that have been there through it all.
Yeah, even going through like some self-doubt. You mentioned, thanks for the intro, Army Ranger School, pretty difficult school to get through. And, negative self-talk about maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I can make it through. And your mom being there, or your friend being there, or, somebody being there saying, no, I believe in you. You can make it through. Absolutely. You can do this.
Yeah.
But, like to define balcony people for your audience, I just made a few notes, and, it can be a best friend, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, a best friend or a friend at all. Obviously they're a friend, but like, it doesn't have to be, when you think of a balcony person, it doesn't necessarily have to be your best friend. It can be an elder. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person coming from a position of authority. For me, most of my balcony people were those people. Some people that were either coached me along or parents or things like that. They are those among us who are truly, genuinely happy, not insincere, and by offering their unconditional support, they qualify as that balcony person for you.
Yeah. And something that Heatherly talked about in the book, I keep coming back to it because that's, where the concept originated from. But the characteristics she described for balcony people are that they love, listen, and care from the heart. And that's kind of what you just said, in the sense of this is coming from a place of genuine love and support for you. They listen to you, they hear the things that you're saying, and they hear the things that you're not saying, and they support you. That support might come in a form of, you can do this, I love you, I believe in you. It might come in the form of, you can do better than this, I know you can do better than this, don't settle, keep pushing, keep getting better, I want you to be your best self. But no matter what, it comes from a place that's true and genuine within their heart. And it's not coming from a place of expecting to get anything in return. Right.
And then, maybe we can define like who balcony people are not. They're more than just parents or coaches or bosses or teachers. And you may have a good relationship with any of those four categories of people, but they're more than just being a supporter. And then on the contrary, they're not the people that are showering you with, disingenuine or unearned praise either. They're not the people that are saying, you're great, you're great, you're great. Oh my gosh, you're so great. They're not those people either. Because those people may not be truthful with that either. So,
and that's actually a person that might be pushing you to be complacent with where you are and be average. And balcony people aren't going to do that. They're going to push you to be your best, and they're going to expect the best out of you, like we talked about. It's not somebody that's like, congrats, you got a C+ on your test, you did your best. And maybe that is your best for that class, right? But maybe it's not. They're going to be the ones that are going to say, you need to do better than this, you need to study. They might be the people that hold you accountable, and they might be the people that take the time out of their day to make sure that you're up at 5 a.m. for your workout or for your practice. They're the people that say, why aren't you running hard? Why aren't you touching the line on your sprints? I've had teammates that are like that, and it builds respect, when somebody can hold you accountable for something that you might, not be in the best mind space during that time. You might be tired physically or mentally, or you might just not have the best thoughts towards yourself, or you might just be building up your toughness. You're not tough enough to endure what you're facing at that specific moment, but those people pull you to the expectation where you need to be, and they pull you toward the version of yourself that is going to show up the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? So.
And then there's the opposite of balcony people as well.
Mm-hmm. And the way that the author defined that or labeled it is a basement person. So you have the balcony people and you have the basement people. And the opposite are the people that plant seeds of doubt in your head. They're the people she talks about. This is obviously an old book, but the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, they're the people that are pulling you down from the dark, murky waters of your unconscious mind. That's how she describes it. But it's those people that maybe subtly had a remark about you that made you not feel that good about some work that you were doing, or it's the people that you might not get the best vibes, or you just don't feel fully supported when you're around them. Not everyone needs to be your balcony people. Everyone has basement people in their life. Everyone has people that just exist in their life, right? Balcony people are very few and far in between, I guess you could say, but just one balcony person is worth probably over 1,000 of these basement people or these evaluators that don't necessarily love, listen, and care from the heart.
Yeah, they're people that they don't have any ulterior motive. Mm-hmm. They love you, for you the person. And, sometimes you don't even know why or can't explain. It's just because of you and who you are. Right.
Yeah. And it's these people that they affirm you constantly, like I said, in these moments where you might be having doubt, but they also push you to your highest standard. They have respect for you and you respect them. You don't want to let them down. You want to do your best because they're there. They want to push you to be your best. So you want to push yourself to be your best. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so this concept of balcony people is very relevant to the world of athletics and any sport, really, because athletes face so many challenges on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure any athlete that's listening to this has faced at least one challenge in their life that's caused them to question whether they want to play the sport, whether they're built for this, whether they're prepared, whether their body can handle it, if they're not good enough, etc. We face physical and mental stress on a day-to-day basis. Your body's tired, your muscles are tired. You have to keep pushing past the limits that you may have imposed on yourself. And you might face injuries, and you might face unexpected circumstances in practice, in games. You face a lot of uncomfortable situations. So all of these different factors are challenges. They parallel the challenges that we face in life, but for athletes that are currently in these challenges, this concept of balcony people is especially important. It might be that your balcony person is your coach, but it might not be. It might be that a balcony person is a leader on your team, an upperclassman on your team, but it might not be. It might be your mom and dad calling from home. It might be your best friend. It might be your trainer that's been training you since you were young, that's always seen that spark in you. It might be a teacher, And so, like we talked about, it doesn't always have to come from, I guess we haven't really dug into this, but it doesn't have to come from the people that you wish would be your balcony people. Like, everyone wants their coach to be their balcony person, but that's not always the case.
Yeah, we've got the imagery of literally people on the balcony. Another image that I've had when I think about this book and I think about balcony people is that you're in a ring. You're boxing someone. You're challenging yourself against someone else, or whatever the sports analogy. But for me, it's a boxing ring. Mm-hmm. Who's in your corner? Who's there when you're getting knocked down or knocked down and punched in the face? Who's in your corner telling you that you can do it? Get up. I have faith in you. You got this.
Right. It's who's there for you when your shot's not falling and you're playing basketball, when you have a bad performance, when you have a good performance. And again, it's I know a lot of people grow up with parents in their car that they're going to hold you to your highest standard, right? No matter what. Or you might have a coach or you might have a trainer. It's the reason why people say that if your coach is hard on you, it's because they care about you. You know, it's the people that are going to love you and affirm you, but also hold you to the standard and lift you up when you're out. It's the person that's going to say, keep shooting, because they know you can hit those shots and you might be in a negative mind space in that moment. So to any athletes out there, it's really important that you hold on to these people, you keep them close, you recognize them, and you show them gratitude. Those are things that we're going to touch on a little bit later in this episode as well, but it's just especially important to touch on this topic, being that I'm an athlete and, you know, you have athletic experiences too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you might be thinking, like, you know, the wheels start turning. Who are my balcony people? Mm-hmm. You know, when Grace approached me and said, hey, you know, I want to do an episode on that book and talk about balcony people, I think it'll help, you know, a lot of folks out there. You know, I immediately started thinking, okay, you know, who are my balcony people? Who were my balcony people? And sometimes you don't know, and sometimes you find them through your own actions. So like for me, when I joined the military, my dad was like really proud of that. He was proud of the hard work that I put in, the dedication, the perseverance, you know, the grit that I had to go through to endure some of the training, some of the assignments that I had that were really important. I mean, and I had an uncle, he was ex-military as well, and he was just always so proud. And those people that, like, you're just making them proud through your actions. And, you know, they become your balcony people. They become the people that, you know, through your own actions, your hard work and dedication and perseverance, that you know, you find these people along your journey of life.
Yeah. And again, it might not be that you have a million of these people, but if you just have that one person in your life,
would you say
or those couple people in your life, it's worth over 1,000 of the basement people, or the people who might not support you no matter what. You know?
Like the people with conditional,
the people that have conditions. So they might support you sometimes, but if you're not doing so well, they might keep their mouth shut, or they might kind of talk down on you or plant these seeds of doubt in your head. So I wanted to ask you, you know, when you made that pivotal decision in your life of starting a business, who were your balcony people during that time?
So, you know, for me, well, the obvious is your mom, Amy. You know, it was at a time when, you know, when you're thinking about, you've got a house, you've got a mortgage, you got 3 kids, you got a wife, you got a lot of people that you need to support. And if you're the person that is in charge of supporting those people, you don't want to make any mistakes. And so when I went to Amy, it was 6 or 7 years ago, and I said, hey, you know, I'm thinking about starting my own business consulting practice. And then that eventually morphed into buying a franchise. But she said, go for it. And I have faith in you. Those are the types of words that you would need to hear from, you know, your balcony people. She could have said, how are we going to pay the bills? What are we going to do for benefits? That seems like a risky move. You don't really have any experience in XYZ, and made me feel like down in the dumps. Okay, best I don't do that, and I'm just going to go out and get another job and be unhappy, working for somebody else. And so, but she, you know, that was the type of response that a balcony person would get. Yeah, you would get from a balcony person. Go for it. I have faith in you. I love you. I'm here for you. Things like that. So
I'm going to help you get through it. You're prepared for this. Yeah, all those things. Yeah, that's something that I can relate to as well. You know, when things were difficult in my life, I have people that also were there and were that voice of almost affirming my gut feeling. It's easy to kind of question your gut sometimes, no matter what you're doing. And if you have just one person that's like, no, do that. You got it. You're prepared for this. You're ready for this. You can do it. I trust you. It's it means so much. And in those, it's like, it's so hard to describe, but when you're in that dark place mentally, it means so much to you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned like the negativity in the world today. It's very easy to have self-doubt and put negative thoughts in your head. And it's the people that you surround yourself with that are lifting you up, right, out of those dark places.
So I'm going to kind of shift. How do you think that you find these balcony people in your life? And how do you think that when you find them, how do you recognize who they are?
So one of the notes I jotted down is like sometimes they just appear, you know. So like for me, I can come up with one instance. I had a couple best friends from college, just normal best friends. I wouldn't have read this book and put these guys down on paper if I was going, let me put a list of all my balcony people. They probably wouldn't have been on the list, but they were there for me when my parents passed away. They were there at my mom and my dad's funeral. And I didn't ask them to be there. I told them about it. Of course, if they're your best friend, they're going to know about things in your life. And they just came. They traveled thousands of miles, and they're there for me when I needed somebody the most.
Yeah.
Sometimes balcony people can be people like that. They appear when you need them the most. And it may be not somebody that you might have expected, but once they do, then you keep them close.
Yeah.
Those are the best of supporters out there.
And sometimes it's somebody that you might have known for a period of your life. And like, I can think of like a former teammate that texted me randomly in a time when, like, to check up on me just randomly in a time when I had just found out that I tore my ACL. And she didn't even know. So I feel like she didn't know that I had just found that out, but it was like almost like God sent her to me. And I really do believe that God sends you balcony people in your life. And like you said, it might take time for you to recognize who they are. It might take time for them to become a balcony person in your life. It might take time for you to build that relationship with them. But I think that...
And God can be a balcony person,
right?
Also. And then God will provide you with balcony people as well.
Yeah.
Throughout your life at different instances. Maybe even when you least expect it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that you recognize these people with just a gut feeling. At least for me, I can usually tell when somebody, or I think I can usually tell when people are genuine and when they unconditionally love and support you. You might not know that, right? But it's a feeling, I think. And it's just, you hear these people, you see these people, they show up for you, they uplift you. They don't have an ulterior motive or expectation. They give without expectation to you. They give their time, they give their energy, they give their wisdom and their advice. They might be a mentor to you. They might be somebody, we talked about this a little bit, that you go work hard at, work out at the courts growing up, and it's that little kid that's playing at the park that looks at you like you're their hero. It might be a younger sibling, it might not be somebody that's older than you and more experienced. It might be somebody that looks up to you and cheers for you and thinks you're the best ever, no matter how you personally feel about your own performance,
And then you can't let them down.
Yeah. So that's another thing. You have respect for these people. You don't want to let them down. You want to bring your best self because they believe in you. And another aspect, I think, of recognizing balcony people is something that I talked about in my last podcast, which is pouring into yourself and building a genuine trust for yourself and a trust for your judgment and a love for yourself. And I think when you're grounded in who you are, it makes it a lot easier for you to open doors to allow other people into your life. And it makes it easier to recognize these people when they do come into your life.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of effort. Once you've recognized them, you really want to try to keep them.
Right.
So how do you do that?
So this is another thing. How do you keep these balcony people in your life? I think comes down to appreciating them and showing gratitude toward them. And not only that, because, you know, they're giving to you without expectation, but also you can be a balcony person to somebody who might really need it in your life. Is there somebody in your life that might be going through some, you know, difficult relationship problems, or might have difficult relationship with their family members, or, you know, any type of challenge? It might be a younger sibling, it might be a friend, it might be a parent. And I think that just by being a good listener to others, reaching out to the people that are in your life and that you appreciate, continuing to show up as your authentic self, and just giving these people the same love and care and support that you're blessed to have from them.
Yeah, if it's a best friend, reciprocate, and check in with them every once in a while. You might be checking in at a time, like you said, that they're going through something and you didn't even know it, and you're checking in at the right time.
I'll never forget that.
So,
and also, I think by continuing to show up as yourself, I kind of already mentioned that, but by doing that, you continue to build their respect for you. If you continue to work hard and do the things that might have brought them into your life in the first place, you continue to build that mutual respect and relationship, and probably a relationship and a respect that will continue to build as you grow older and as you face other things in your life.
Yeah, as you progress through your life, you know, if it's an elder or a mentor or a previous teacher or someone in more authoritative position that's influenced you, and they've been that balcony person for you, maybe you don't talk to those people every day. Maybe you don't really talk to them every month, or, you know, even think about them for, you know, but once in a while, send them a card. Once in a while, pick up the phone and give them a call.
Right.
And, you know, I'll also say, like, once in a while, and this is both not necessary and it's also not expected, but let them know how much they mean to you in your life.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. It might be somebody that's in your life every day. It might be somebody that you barely ever see, but when you see them, they show up at the times when you really need them.
Yeah, I've had a few balcony people in my life that just love and support me, and they've been a lot older, and these are people that I didn't really see every year.
Right.
But they were there if I needed them. They were always when I saw them, or when my parents talked to them, and they constantly ask about how you were doing or how I was doing. Had the ultimate respect for, you know, what I was doing in my life at the time, and always interested in finding out what I've been up to, and, you know, reach out to those people from time to time. You know who they are, and you know, if you don't, you'll develop those relationships as time goes. You know, as you go through the challenges of life, these people will, you know, through God, will appear to you. You know, they're probably already been there, and, you know, more balcony people will appear as you go through life, and you're going to find good friends that show up at your weakest moment. You're like, oh, okay, maybe this is the next level support.
Right.
And love, and unconditional love and support.
And I would say advice to anyone that's an athlete or anyone really listening to this is that you don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need everyone to be your balcony people. You need to be your own balcony person. And we talked about, you know, God can be your balcony person. So, you know, showing love and appreciation might be spending more time with God if you're religious, and it might be spending more time pouring love and energy into yourself. But it can help to have at least one or two balcony people in your life that you can lean on in the depths of despair. So find these people, listen to these people, love these people, appreciate these people. And that would be my top words of advice.
Yeah, let them lift you up, and then hopefully you'll have a chance to lift them up as well.
Yeah. Find the people who speak the words of truth that resonate with your heart. Are there people that plant seeds of doubt, or does their energy make you feel excited? Does it make you feel heavy, or does it lift you up, like what you just said?
Yeah, these are the types of folks, again, you know, going back to the beginning of the podcast. It's not the people that are like just showering you with, oh my gosh, you're so great. No, we're not talking about those people. It's just the person that you know without a shadow of a doubt, they got your back. They're in your corner.
Yeah, give your energy to those people, the people who love you, the people who believe in you, the people who speak words of encouragement and positivity toward you and your dreams. And yeah, that's the main message from this podcast, to find your balcony people. And when you find them, hold them close. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's listening to this. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Hold them close.
And stay tuned for the next episode. I hope you guys learned something today and that you can take something that we talked about into your own life and apply it.
I encourage you to get the book, read it. It's always good to put positive thoughts in your head. And this is one book that can do that.
All right. Thanks again. Bye.